Hello everyone and welcome back to Little Norton. We are on day number 3, midwinter, and it is episode number 18. As you can see, it has snowed again after it melted away at the end of the last session. And in the last session we sold all of our silage, which gave us a cool £127,000 overnight, which is fantastic. So that silage money is now paying for our next venture, and I've just driven past our next venture. It is the woodland area, which I highlighted in the last session, and we are going to buy that today for the purposes of logging. Yep, we are going to do some winter woodland logging, and that is going to keep us busy through these winter months. So I'm over to the dealership first thing this morning, as we need some equipment to help us out today. So I've got the John Deere following me with the Marston trailer, and that's because we are going to get the forestry module for the sorry, it's not the Marston trailer, it's the Johnston trailer. So yep, we're going to get the forestry module for that. I'm going to need the attach-on winch for the tractor as well, and also the CSZ log grab for our John Deere telehandler. So yeah, lots of equipment to buy, so going to be an expensive one. But also we are clearing quite a large logging area. It is this area here, which is just shy of £90,000. So yeah, there are lots and lots of trees in there that we need to clear. So my gut feel is that we definitely need a forestry machine. Cutting those down manually and then sizing them manually using a chainsaw is going to take too long. So we need to hire the help of a forestry machine to make our lives a bit easier. And because FS19 is soon to be not replaced, but we're going to have FS22 out, that's going to take a lot of focus. I feel like now is really the last opportunity for me to try the Rotney forestry machine. I bought the pack of this quite a while back, but haven't had a chance to use this yet. So I thought, why don't we rent this, and then we can use it to our advantage to clear the field, because it's very expensive, and all of the other forestry machines are very expensive as well. But if we get this used and lease it, it's just £16,000 plus the day and hourly rates. So yeah, I'm thinking that's a cost-effective way of us quickly being able to clear all the trees. So yeah, we're going to get the Rotney H21D. So let's lease that. There we are. And as that is leased, we need to get it serviced up. It looks pretty damn cool. Very big machine. It's probably going to make light work of all of those trees, but there are a lot of them, so it probably will take us quite a long time still. So let's get this serviced up. There we go, for an extra £3,000. What's the benefit of leasing it used? We obviously save quite a bit of money on the leasing, but we have to contribute to the servicing costs. So next purchases, we have got the log module for the Johnston trailer, and here we are, the forestry module. So we can get this used as well. Need to save as much money as possible, and we'll get that in John Deere green. So let's buy that. Excellent. So this is over here, and yeah, we need to follow the instructions. Grab from this side and load from the side it's telling us on the other side of the pallet, which is going to be this way. There we are. So we should be able to hop in here. And there we go. We have our forestry module. Next on the list is the attach-on winch. Here it is. Very useful piece of kit this. I used this in my Ravenport series, and also I've used it on Spectacle Island with Nordic Farming. It is fantastic for sorting logs. So we will get that and repair it. And then, yes, the last thing on the list, CSZ log grab for a telehandler, which is probably at the end somewhere here. There we go. So double fork carriage for logs, and we can get that used as well to save a bit of money. Excellent. So I'm going to get a few of these bits all serviced up, and then we will be journeying over to the logging area where we're going to get started. I will see you there. Right, so here is the patch of woodland that we are going to be logging. I'm just going to leave the telehandler and the tractor here, as we're not going to need them initially, and this area has a nice clearing, so there's space for us to manage the logs a little bit later. But yes, here is the patch of land, and we need to buy it. So a good marker for me is that there's a track that runs here that forks off to the left and forks off to the right. So we want to stay to the right of that track and sort of keep to that boundary. But yeah, £90,000. Let's buy this bit of land so we can get started. So there's a lot of trees here. I'm sort of thinking about the best way I could attack. Probably going to go in through the middle and you know, do the similar process to how I've done in Ravenport and others, is sort of drag the logs out and try and stack them as best as possible when we're cutting. So we need to unfold the harvester, and in terms of log length, I'm thinking 9 meters is going to fit nicely on the Johnston trailer. So we will switch to 9 meters, and I will test that. Oh, it seems like we can only go to 8 meters, so that's our maximum, but that's okay. That will work nicely as well. We want to turn on the harvester and get going. So let's pick out a tree. Get my bearings with the old controls. Pick this one first. I'll be a bit to the side just so things aren't going to land on me. And I want to try get it as low as possible. Maximise how much tree we cut. There we go. First cut done. Let's pull it back. Aha. So hopefully you heard that. That is the Wood Sounds mod. And I came to find out about this mod from one of my watchers, Feldin, who also has a channel, so be sure to check that out as well. He's in my featured channels list. Yep, he recommended in one of his previous videos the Wood Sounds mod, which I heard when he was doing on one of his series. So I looked it up, and yeah, it's pretty good. Beforehand, the working with trees and wood, having no sounds of the tree falling over and rattling around, just doesn't make sense. So a little bit of sound just adds the depth and the realism, which is really nice. Right, so lots of work ahead of me, lots of felling and cutting down to size. The plan with the logs is I'm going to try my best to keep the logs for the sawmill as big as possible, and then any smaller logs will probably leave behind to do for firewood at a later time. So I'll just have to sort through those as and when we have some good piles of logs. But yeah, big ones for the sawmill and small spindly ones for the firewood. But yeah, here we go. I'm going to get cracking with this, and I'll see you when we've made some good progress. Okay, so I have cleared the middle and top section. Did take quite a long time, so had to slow down to real time just to make sure I get it done in this session. And yeah, it's been pretty fun. The Rotner makes quick work of it. Even though it is a big job, I always underestimate the size of these woodlands and how long it's going to take, but nonetheless it's been quite fun. So I'm going to now switch to this bottom half, which hopefully won't take me too long, but I just wanted to let you hear the wood sounds when cutting trees in dense areas. You get some great tree crackling, falling sounds. Hopefully that's coming through. But yeah, it really adds to the depth of the game, which is nice. So I have tried different sort of ways of keeping it neat, although it doesn't look particularly neat. It's very difficult to get the tree to fall where you want it to, and yeah, knowing the log physics of this game, sometimes it goes the complete opposite way you expect, and it's difficult. If all the logs fell in the way that this pile is falling, even though I've pushed one of the logs out, it would be a lot neater. But yep, that is the point of the winch. The winch is going to come into play to help me sort through this. Clearing this amount of logs is going to obviously take a long time, so not anticipating be able to clear all of them in this session. We'll try and clear a good few to earn back some money for this land and for renting the Rotner, but yeah, we'll see how much we can get sorted through, even if we just create a nice big log pile that we can come and sort of collect now and again to help bolster the profits. That would be beneficial, but I would like to get as many cleared as possible, and then at some point when we're ready to project this land, i.e. do something with it, give it some purpose, we will have to come and clear all the stumps, which will be a fun job. I will probably get a stump cutter to come and do that. The Biobelts one is particularly good, but yeah, lots and lots of trees cut, so probably be a very long job, and also probably makes sense for the snow to have cleared before we venture into stump clearing. Obviously if any get in my way when I'm loading, then I will do away with them using the lumberjack mod and just chainsaw them out of the ground, which is fine. But yeah, we will do something with this land once we've cleared it all. Could turn it over and make it into a long and thinnish field to put a crop in, or we could plant logs again. Not that I think we're going to have the longevity in this series to see the logs grow again, or the trees grow again, as in seasons the trees take a good many years to grow. So yeah, we won't see the benefits of that again. Well, one idea I did have is to sort of dedicate this area to placeables, and mainly greenhouses, as yeah, manure we can pick up for a pretty good price around Little Norton, and yeah, maybe at some point next year we'll have some animals that will produce some manure as well. And greenhouses are a good earner. The various different vegetables or flowers that you grow, there's all sorts of different greenhouses, could bring us in some good placeable profits. So we'll see. If you've got any thoughts on what would be good to do with this land once we've got it all cleared up, please drop a comment, let me know. Open to ideas. But yeah, Right, still got quite a way to go. I'm gonna get all of this cleared, as I don't want to have to rent the Rotney again to cut down trees. Obviously quite an expensive upfront cost, £16,000 or thereabouts to for the initial leasing cost of this, and we sunk a couple hours into it as well, so we'll see how much it cost once we hand it back. But it's definitely done the job in cutting, and then it'll be up to us and the equipment we've got and can get hold of after to get these logs all cleared and sold at the sawmill, which won't happen overnight. As mentioned, that's gonna take some time to clear, but it's just money sitting there ready to be processed. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of this logging area, and I will probably speak to you when we're handing back the Rotney to the dealership. See you soon. Right, so back at the dealership, and I have returned the Rotney. And just going to have a quick look at how much money it cost us. So the land purchase was just shy of £90,000, and the leasing cost £26,169, which isn't too bad. So that's the initial leasing plus the day rate and then the hourly rate, of which I think we used probably about 2, maybe 3. So yeah, that is the area all cut down, which is pretty crazy. There is a lot of wood here, and now is the rather long task of sorting it out and loading it and selling it, which yeah, as I mentioned, probably isn't going to be done all in this session. I'll be lucky if I make a sizable dent in this session. But yes, we've got to sell some wood to make some money back, and then the plan is that we could then maybe buy some equipment that's going to help us load logs a bit faster and more of them as well, which will then mean we can get our log profits quicker and more efficiently. So with the rest of this afternoon, I am going to sort some logs and get them loaded into the trailer and take them to the sawmill. And as I go, I'm going to have to pluck out all of the smaller logs. Don't seem to be any here, but there are some knocking around, and we will set ourselves up a nice pile of logs that are just going to remain for firewood. So yeah, some of the smaller ones are just only good for firewood, not much point loading them. So yeah, there's a good mix of trees in amongst this. When I first started, I tried to sort some of the piles to be for particular trees, so some are obviously thicker. The larger pine trees have got thicker trunks, but yeah, that didn't fully work out all the time. So yeah, we've got a mixture of logs in amongst the piles, and we can use our handy winch to drag logs as we need to. And my plan is to try and butt up as many logs as I can in piles to get them lifted up by the telehandler, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 loads to the sawmill this afternoon. I'm going to crack on with that, so pushing, shoving, sorting the logs into some piles so the telehandler can then set about lifting them. It's a bit flimsy sometimes, but we'll try and do our best. And yeah, as I say, after we've done a couple of loads of logs, we might have enough money to be able to buy ourselves some equipment that's going to help us speed the job up. But yeah, there's a good example of a log that's good for firewood. So I'm going to get busy, and I will see you. I've made some good progress. Right, so have our first load on the trailer. It's not the neatest, but the bars don't go that high on this trailer. But that's okay. We'll take this load to the sawmill and then see how much we get for it. But, I've got something in mind that will help us with the quantity of logs that we have. So we'll see to that after we've done our first little trip to the sawmill. Right, so this looks to be the sawmill, and I think this first one is the wood chip unloading, and then this is probably the log unloading. So there we go, 25 grand from that pile. If that's anything to go on, I think we are quids in with the rest of that field. I've gone some rather silly way of getting out of here. But, let's back up and back to the field. There are lots of logs to collect, and yeah, I think we can actually afford the items that I think are going to help us. So there's a truck in mind that is gonna really help us, and I will show you when we get to the dealership. Right, here we are at the dealership, and the truck that I am going to buy is the Iveco IT runner. I've always wanted to use an IT runner. I've not used them, but ever since I sort of caught onto them, I've started seeing them everywhere. And this one, the Iveco, is one I used in Ravenport, just the standard truck. So I thought for this one we would use the IT runner, which came up not that long ago on the mod hub. So it's 85,000. We're of course going to buy it used to save us quite a bit of money. And yeah, main colour I'm thinking of going for the mint green, just because that's going to go not with the John Deere green, but yeah, I like green, so I'm going to go with that. Although the main pastel red does look pretty cool and matches the chassis, but yeah, we're going to go with the mint green. Don't want to get any decals and don't need a spoiler. I think as it looks, that's pretty sort of traditional what you'd see on the British roads. So yeah, going to buy that for 57,000. And then to help us with the logs, we are going to get the IT runner log trailer. And here it is, the wood container. Now there's all sorts of containers, so there's longevity in this truck. We will get a grain container when it's harvest season, and there's a trailer that we can attach to the back of this truck to extend it, so we can have it as a truck that has a IT runner container on the back, and then it can have a trailed IT runner as well. But for today we're just going to get this wood container. We'll get it used, and I think the closest green to the mint green we've got on the truck is this olive green, so we're going to go with that for £6,600. Here we are. So here is our new truck with logging container. I don't know what you call those components, but yeah, this is the Iveco IT runner. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty nice on the inside too. Pretty basic and older looking, which is what I was going for. So I think we need to get the arm out to lift up this log container. So when we get to the logging site, we can drop this down and then lift it up when it's full of logs. So it's a little bit lower for our telehandler to drop into. I hope it's going to be a good height to for the telehandler to drop the logs into. Right, let's just line that up. Put the helper set up here and journey on over to our logging area. Right, so here we are back at the logging site, and we can get this container dropped off. Nice. So you can just leave that there, and the John Deere tractor can be lined up behind it, so ready to follow to the sawmill. So let's jump back in the telehandler and get to some more loading. I'm hoping that it should get over the spikes on the log container there. But yeah, I'm really happy that I've got an IT runner. I've always wanted to use one, and as I say, it's multi-purpose, which is what I always try to go for. You can get the various other containers that you can purchase for it, which will help with the farm in the long run. So let's get our first logs dropped into it. One on the floor. We'll just drive over. To come out a little bit. There we go. By no means perfect, but it looks like it's going to actually take quite a lot of logs. So let's carry on loading. Get this one that I ran over put in there. This log grab always drops the last little log that you've got on the end, which is funny and frustrating at the same time. In you go. There we are, nice. So let's carry on and get that loaded so we can do another trip to the sawmill. Right, so I have loaded up as many logs as I dare, and it's getting towards the end of the day, so I want to make sure we've got enough time to get this over to the sawmill. Wow, it's a heavy load. It's lifting it right up on the truck. There we go. Right. So it's quite rear heavy. Steering is struggling in the snow. Dear. Am I going to get enough traction to turn? Not sure I am, you know. Right, seems to be better on the road. The weight on the rear axles is obviously lifting up the front and making the steering quite tricky. But yeah, we should hopefully make it to the sawmill okay, as we're on all the roads. So yeah, let's get there. I also need to service this truck and the trailer. As you can see, it's a little bit non-responsive on the front, just because of the weight on the back. I haven't loaded this the best, so it's not the neatest. It's also quite top heavy because the container seems to sit higher than if it were just a articulated trailer on a truck. Let's get this to the sawmill so we can sell this load. And if the IT runner doesn't work, then what we can do is look to get a dolly for it to pull, and attached to that dolly we can have a more conventional log trailer, which will make the load a little bit safer. Right, at the sawmill again. Let's get this IT runner turned around. Definitely losing its traction in the snow. Sometimes better turning when you're reversing, just because it's not getting the weight on the front. When you reverse, it gives it a bit of extra downward. Right, so nearly there. Right, let's get this unloaded. Nice. 37,275. That's awesome. So I probably need to put a little bit less on the load for this, just so the truck has a chance. I don't want it to be at risk of rolling over or sliding and whatever else. But yeah, that is really impressive. So today we have cut down that entire forest, and we used the Rotten forestry machine, which was a good lease. We've earned that money back already just from 2 runs to the sawmill. And yeah, we bought our new Iveco truck IT runner with the logging container, which yeah, it's good. We'll use it a few more times, but then we might need something a little bit bigger and longer. So as I mentioned, I might get a dolly for the rear of this truck, so we can pull a more conventional logging trailer that's articulated. But yeah, as you can tell, it is raining now, so the snow is probably going to disappear like it did yesterday. But yeah, I'm off back to the logging area where we'll be carrying on the log sorting and loading next time. I've got a lot more sorting to do, as yeah, the logs really need to be sorted first before attempting to pick them up with a telehandler. I was just scrabbling around for logs there to demonstrate the new Iveco IT runner and the logging container. But next time we will start off just by having a big sorting session to get the logs in decent piles and in a good standing so we can get them all loaded. And yeah, based on how long the job is, we'll see how many logs we do manually. I'm not adverse to getting a auto loader, and if you think I should, then let me know in the comments. But for now I will carry on manually loading, as yeah, I definitely started this job, so I need to finish it. And yes, there is a long way to go, but I look at it as it just setting up the farm for the next farming season and the next year with lots and lots of money. Yet we've got to get on by buying some of the other farms which have animal pens, and they do cost quite a bit of money. So all of these logs here are just cash ready to be put into the bank for us to have a good amount of money to invest next year. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. A big thank you for any views, likes and subscribes. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But I hope to see you again next time, and catch you later. Cheers then. Bye bye.